It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Now, as some of y'all might know, I spoke a couple months ago about Lucian Grainge and Universal Music and how they were criticizing the streaming royalties from all of the platforms. They were looking for a way to create a more artist-centric, artist-friendly, really label-friendly way of paying the artists and the labels. They feel like the people that are creating the most traffic and generating the most actual money for the companies, such as Spotify, Apple Music, etc., they should be the ones taking the lion's share of the money, which means that they feel like independent artists that aren't getting the same amounts of streams should not be paid the equal share that we do today. Now, number one, equal share does not exist, but I'm just saying that's what they say. There's a different streaming rate if people listen to your music on Spotify free, for example, opposed to if people listen to your music on Spotify Premium. Same concept goes on for all of the other platforms. We don't got to break this down into minutia, right? But now Universal Music has found an official partner to try to introduce these artist-centric royalties, and the platform that they found is Deezer, okay? Now, for those of y'all that actually release your music, distribute it through somebody, DistroKid, United Masters, etc., then y'all should be pretty familiar with Deezer because that logo is always there when you're able to see where your music is going when you upload it to be put out. Unfortunately, I'll go ahead and preface, Deezer is a smaller platform. They're based in France. It definitely makes sense that Universal would get with Deezer because bringing their influence and their leverage to the table, Deezer pretty much has to go with whatever Universal wants them to do. But let's go into the actual policy and break down everything so that you understand further what this really means. It's not going to affect too many of us, but this could be a model that other streaming platforms decide to employ if it works or if they see the benefit. Universal Music released a press release not too long ago on September 6th, and they say the two companies developed the new model together as part of their previously announced collaboration using their respective deep data analysis to develop an economic model that better reflects the true value of artist-fan relationships. The collaboration to launch an artist-centric model is driven by the company's recognition that current music streaming models need to be reimagined. While streaming has been the most significant technology advancement in music in many years, a flood of uploads with no meaningful engagement, including non-artist noise content, has necessitated reassessment of the approach that platforms, labels, and artists take to foster a thriving music ecosystem. Number one priority, focusing on artists. Deezer will attribute a double boost to what they define as quote-unquote professional artists. A professional artist on the Deezer platform means those who have a minimum of 1,000 streams per month by a minimum of 500 unique listeners in order to more fairly reward them for the quality and engagement they bring to the platforms and fans. Now, for all of you artists out there, if you have 1,000 listeners, 1,000 streams per month, that means that you will get a double boost. However, how many of us are leading people to Deezer? When we put our music out, even when you do those link pages, the multi-link pages, normally they direct people to what? Spotify, number one, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, and that's about the size of it, right? The major players. How many of your links include Deezer? Let's keep going. They're also going to be rewarding engaging content, which means additionally assigning another double boost for songs that fans actively engage with, reducing the economic influence of algorithmic programming. So what does that mean? If you have at least 1,000 streams per month by at least 500 unique listeners, which means you need to find 500 people to listen to your songs every month, right? And they need to generate a minimum of 1,000 streams per month, meaning that 500 people will have to listen to your songs twice a month. If you can do that, whatever their streaming rate currently is, they will double it for your songs. Then, if people actively go on the Deezer app and search for your music, meaning that they actively go look for it, then you will receive a double boost because they want people to actually be engaging on the app rather than allowing the algorithm to feed them the music. Another part of their plan is demonetizing what they call non-artist noise audio, which is a very blanket term that they're not really specifying what that is. But if I had to guess, that's the people that are putting up, water sounds and different stuff like that on the streaming platforms. People that are making sounds or some form of audio, but not necessarily releasing music to be consumed on a mass consumption level. They don't want to monetize that type of audio. Deezer is planning to replace non-artist noise content with its own content in the functional music space, and this won't be included in the royalty pool. They also plan on tracking fraud. With this, they're continuing to drive an updated and stricter proprietary fraud detection system, removing incentives for bad actors and protecting streaming royalties for artists. There's about 7% of music on the market that they've detected is at least somewhat fraudulently made. Boost, these playlist companies, these stream boosting companies, these stream farms and all of that type of stuff, they're trying to get that shit the fuck out the paint. So if they find it, they're wiping your music out. Now, although these double boosts, you know, you can make up to 4 times the money if you hit their requirements and you hit those benchmarks. But how many people do you know, or you yourself, that use Deezer, right? Because if you're in the US watching this video, Deezer's usership, they only have 9 million people on there. Within the entire world, they've got 9 million active users. When you take this to the US level, the numbers get much smaller, maybe 13% of their users, right? So ultimately, this double, quadruple boost thing that they're doing is only going to benefit people that are big enough to reach the foreign countries and still generate interest. Either you're based in France, which is their biggest market. I think about 6 million of the 9 million users are in France. You're either in Mexico, San Juan or something like that. I think they have a presence in Nigeria as well, and African countries that I think they used to use Deezer primarily. A lot of them have even gone over to Audio Max, so that's decreasing. So who actually has the reach to facilitate a quadruple boost based on these benchmarks? It's gonna be major label artists that have international fan bases. According to their own data, they say Deezer's data analysis shows that fans mostly consume music from the artists they love and show little interest in music from hobbyists or functional music. Most independent artists, in their estimation, they will put them in the category of hobbyists. They say content clutter is degrading the fan experience and impeding discovery of artists. For example, 90% of all uploaders on the Deezer platform generate only 2% of the general streams, whereas only 2% of all uploaders. Those artists attract a consistent fan base, and they had more than 1,000 monthly unique listeners. So only 2% of the people that even upload music on Deezer have over 1,000 monthly listeners. So when you dissect all of the info, who is actually going to benefit? Only major label acts under the UMG umbrella, because they have the infrastructure to get their music streamed highly in these places. This shit is nothing but a fancy placebo effect, and it's more specifically a cash grab for Universal Music, because they wanted to see how they could get Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, and all the other companies to just bow down to what they wanted. Those companies said, fuck you, these are our rates, we'll raise them when we think about it. But no, you can't just come in here and tell us what the fuck to do. Deezer bowed down. So now UMG is going to take over the Deezer platform. It might as well be called Universal Music Streaming. They try to say that mid-level and independent artists will also thrive in this system, but again, you gotta have enough people in the foreign lands where Deezer is actually a used streaming service, because niggas out here in America ain't fucking with that shit. You got 5 other options before you get to Deezer. So for any of y'all that seen this article floating around on social media, if you've seen any other music educators talk about this being a good thing, it's not that you should challenge them and say, hey, this is some bullshit. It's not really that deep, but I just want y'all to know that this is really much to do about nothing. It's not going to affect us. It's not going to affect you. If you are a foreign artist in France, you might have a chance, right? If you're located in Mexico and trying to build up your following and most people in your inner circle are using Deezer, you probably have a chance. But for those of us that aren't in these areas, we're not going to see any increases. We're not going to see any changes in our streaming rates. We're not going to see any difference in our payouts. We're not going to see anything anyway, because if you're using DistroKid, etc., look at the analytics that they really give you. You can't see nothing in that motherfucking platform. Let me know what y'all think of this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you want more updates about the music industry, y'all definitely have got to support these videos, because the entertainment news, the music news, the drama, that content gets interacted with more, which influences me to create more of that type of stuff. So if you want to see me speak about the music business at large, You gotta support it, you gotta like it, you gotta share it, you gotta comment. Otherwise, it's gonna phase out on this channel, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, but if it's not bringing any results, nobody's paying attention to it, I'm not gonna put my time towards it. If you wanna get an individual consultation with me, you can visit my website, www.pengameelite.com. You can book a consultation with me. It's only $50 to get an hour consultation. We can go over your whole situation. That price will be going up in 2024, so you might wanna book with me as soon as you possibly can. If you don't want to book a consultation, you can actually buy my book, The Pen Game Portfolio Volume 2, on the same website, and you can get hella information about the music industry, how to run your pub company, how to run your writer's company, how to build your artist services business where you can make money off of other people and their musical interests and help facilitate other people's situations while taking that money to invest into your career. All of these things are going to pay more than fucking streaming. I'll tell you that, because that's how I became a full-time artist in 2020. But y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. I'll see y'all later. Peace.